Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. As you saw in the intro, it started today with a lateral flow test. Thankfully, can you see that? There we are, the one solid line means I am able to crack on with my day. When I got back from track last night, Hannah tested positive. She's feeling okay, just a bit of a headache and a bit of a sore throat, but she is locked away upstairs in the bedroom, and yeah, try my best to avoid it. I'm fully expecting to get it at some point, but yeah, have some breakfast and then head out for a long ride this morning. So here we are out on the bike. Bit of a struggle to get out the door this morning, if I'm honest. Obviously, just touching on what I said earlier and going about my daily life as normal, it's not 100% the case. I'll try and keep myself to myself as much as possible, which also means I'm flying solo for today's ride as well. Was meant to be meeting with Andy, but obviously yeah, probably not sensible to meet up. Not sure what I'll do swimming wise, probably just go public sessions, but I've actually got a bit of a shoulder niggle anyway. Had a day out of the pool yesterday, which kind of leads me into the main subject of this video, which I think is probably pretty amped right now, and that'll be how to deal with setbacks, be that injury, illness. So let's get this ride done and we'll touch on that when I'm back home. Right, back from my ride. Not the best one, to be honest. Turned around and headed back a bit early, but still got 2.5 hours in. But yeah, anyway, as I touched on out on the ride, let's get cracking with some top tips on how to deal with setbacks. So tip number one is to accept that progress is not going to be linear. I guess we always want to see that kind of never-ending, continuous ramp up of progression, but it's never normally the case. So getting to terms with expecting peaks and troughs along the way will help mentally when setbacks do occur. So yeah, that's number one. Just get to grips with progress not being linear, and that setbacks is just part of the journey. Okay, so tip number two is to think of the bigger picture. For the majority of triathletes, triathlon is their hobby at the end of the day, it's not their profession. So don't be afraid to take time off. I guess the two main setbacks you're likely to occur is going to be injury and illness. So if we just start off with injury, I mean, if you caught it early enough, generally it's just a few days rest is going to do the job, and you'll be able to get back training. So yeah, you're better off taking those 2 days at the beginning, or however long it takes to settle, rather than trying to push on through it, ending up with further complications, which means you end up having to have longer time off in the grand scheme of things. And then again, with illness, rest has never really killed anyone, but training through illness has potentially led to further health complications further down the road. So again, don't be afraid to take some time off. The general consensus is if you've got symptoms above the neck, you can kind of continue to train, but just keep the intensity low. But yeah, any symptoms below the neck, to rest until you're fully recovered. Because yeah, you don't want to be dealing with any further health complications down the line, which means you have to have longer off. I guess this does apply to professionals as well, in that like your long-term health is far more important than a few days of training, which in the grand scheme of things are going to make the slightest bit of difference. So my third point is to try and maintain a positive mindset when dealing with setbacks. I guess the beauty of triathlon is that there's 3 disciplines, so you'd be very unfortunate to have an injury, which means you can't do at least one of the sports. So use the extra time that you have by trying to progress that sport. I guess I'll caveat that by saying just be careful with how quickly you ramp up the volume of that extra sport, whichever it may be, because yeah, you don't want to risk the likelihood of picking up another injury by doing too much too soon. Again, you can use the additional time you've got to focus on your rehab of the injury, so yeah, you can really nail that and make sure that you're stronger when you are able to return from injury. So there we have my 3 tips on how to deal with injury and setback. If you've got any other tips, then I'd love to hear them, so drop them down in the comments below. But other than that, thanks for watching another video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't already, and I shall catch you next week for another video.